optimistic digital platform for collaborative design and connection.
In a socially distanced world, Design United is an optimistic digital platform for collaborative design and connection. Design United was created in March 2020 during a period of intense lockdown and quarantine measures within the region. The aim behind Design United was to create an optimistic space for regional dialogue, connections, collaborations, and opportunities for young regional designers and design practices. A much needed network of support and peer mentorship during these uncertain times. Talented young designers and design studios working on design innovation with an approach that is relevant to our South Asian region have been invited to be a part of the platform. We also encourage design students from the region to share their work, be involved in the dialogue, and to be an active part of Design United. Design United, most of all, believes in creating a community of designers and design knowledge that is largely contextual, with focus on contributing to the environment and our community. Design United believes greatly in a spirit of collaboration and idea exchange.
Welcome to Design United's 35th Design Conversation, a very unique conversation with a family of talented artists from Sri Lanka. I'm Varna Shashidhar, founder principal of a regional landscape practice, VSLA, based in Bengaluru. I'm supported by my wonderful Design United and VSLA team in this endeavor, along with Clayworks Spaces. Clayworks creates flexible co-work spaces that focus on productivity and sustainability. They also offer complete work-from-home solutions. Design Conversations and Design United has featured talented emerging designers from our region, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, selected for their innovative approaches and practices that have a deep resonance with the place they are from. Design United firmly believes in interdisciplinary conversations that leads to cross-pollination of ideas and collaborations. We've also had brilliant mentors, regional designers with great expertise and commitment to mentoring younger generation of designers. Our conversation next year will begin with two inspirational regional designers, architect Sanjay Mohe from Mindspace Architects, India, and architect Tanuja Goenka, director at Kerry Hill Architects, Singapore, joining us on 9th January at 11:30 a.m. So please continue to join us on Saturdays for the conversation. With this background to Design United, let's move to the much anticipated presentation and conversation this evening. It's indeed a delight to welcome contemporary artist J.C. Ratnayake and his talented family of artists, his wife, artist printmaker Tanuja Ratnayake, and his 9-year-old daughter, artist Senuji Ratnayake, to Design Conversation. They join us from their beautiful studio home in Pittugala, Sri Lanka. J.C. Ratnayake is a leading young contemporary artist from Sri Lanka. He grew up in the ancient capital city of Polonnaruwa, Sri Lanka. J.C. completed his education in printmaking at the University of Visual and Performing Arts in Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2008. JC's work is an antithesis of an all-consuming global system and its underlying uniformity, despite the apparent diversification of the cultural sphere. Instead, in JC's art attempts to combat the increasingly cluttered world where minds are constantly being bombarded by imagery and information at a speed that does not afford the time to process thoughts. His work is an attempt to capture many His work, as well as his composition, contain pieces of newspaper with singular writing. The latter uses concentric patterns to convey messages of an island deeply impenetrable and complex, yet also simple and divine when presented in its purest form. His work has been a part of several important private commissions around his island and abroad. His wife, Tanuja Ratnayake, who grew up in the hills of Eliagoda, Sri Lanka, is a talented printmaker who also graduated from the University of Visual and Performing Arts in Colombo, Sri Lanka, in printmaking. Tanuja is a teacher and art faculty at National School in Aturugiriya, Sri Lanka. Welcome to Design Conversation, Tanuja and JC. Our third and very special speaker and artist is a 9-year-old talented artist, Senuji Ratnayake, the daughter of JC and Tanuja. Senuji's talent is special. She has a passion for art that is uniquely hers, not only an osmotic one where she's captured her parents' talent. Her work is deeply inspired by the nature around her, and her technique displays great maturity. Welcome to Design Conversation, Senuji. We will start the presentation with JC's work. Thank you. JC, please share your screen. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, JC sir. We can see your screen.
Okay, actually, I will start. I believe an art can never be expressing the word. It is to simulate emotion deep inside the human mind. So to create the perfect feeling, visual is the language to use. This is the evolution of a naturalist as an arts on the canvas. The birth as an artist is to conquer the interior space with color composition, to comfort the eye and to fill the emptiness of space in a meaningful manner. Puberty from the naturalist, a nature lover, occurred the wilderness, so the life of the living being, the lungs of the planet, trees, jungle, forest, was burning my mind. These are the result. Life in the nature begin in the sea, supported by water, created from the emptiness, with the softness of the moon, is what is expected. This is how water blended with the kindness of the moon rays turn toward the reality of the life struggle. Reality symbolizing with the problems, feelings, ups and downs, confusion of life on a canvas is the maturity of mind. In this path of evolution, human figure appeared in the canvas. They were mixed with the techniques of printmaking, symbols, which were absorbed during my academic practices. The outcome with the academic practices, with the techniques blended on my own invention, is the sign of the uniqueness of my own creativity. Other special features are the embossment using newspaper where all the life of people is exposed to the public. Furthermore, the figures are burned to charcoal. Cycle is back to the nature. Supremacy of human soul, the realization of reality, is to be achieved by and by from the darkness of ignorance, purity, and to be dissolved into the void and disappear. Thank you.
Thank you, JC.
Next, this what my partner of life, Tanuja, has to present more to the works done in an academic period in the university, the faculty of printmaking. All the time.
Thank you so much, JC. We invite Tanuja to please share her work.
Hi. My specialty in the university was printmaking that need limitless passion, time and attention. In that time, I had more than enough of them. And the other thing is that I have to have the mirror image in my mind. But to take it on a block is always reverse of the image, which I had in my mind. I was pretty good in that. I most interested in was monoprint, challenge against the time. When I beat the time, that was the happiness I need. Screen printing was complicated but satisfactory. As a female in the society, we are under the limelight of thousand eyes. So, for survival, male personality into be adapted. Another black and white version of the same theme. Woodcut was the most I did in the campus in my life. The print is an extract of our traditional art taken from the temple painting. That was the foundation of projecting it and is a top priority of the Buddhist philosophy. The reality. However colorful the surface is, in the depth, the reality is not what it looked like. Why hide it? As the living beings, we occupy a certain space in the living planet. movements. Locomotion never give us more space because it is living and occupying. Summer highlight without being productive. It was a practice for generation. Even today. White elephant. Self-portrait is of a mirror image. Myself, sometimes it's me, but sometimes it's the other way around. I have sacrificed all of those for my little angel, my daughter, Senuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanuja. And now we go to our final presenter for the day, the very talented Senuji.
Living in an art gallery. My father, J.C. Ratnayake, commonly known as JC, is an exceptional professional artist who created and developed a style of his own. He thinks differently, practiced differently, and lived differently was his passion. Cycle of nature is the theme he believes in everything. Good day to all of you. I'm Senuji, the daughter who started my drawings as my parents says, even before I go to the nursery. And all the evidence are there on the wall, even today, because my parents born those memories. Born to an art graduated mother, a believer, a lover of nature as my father. Unlike the other children in the society, I grew up in the middle of the nature, under the wings of my parents, who are professional artists. My house is quite unusual because there are trees inside the house, a lively pond upstairs with some not so colorful fishes which we find in the nature, a tortoise waggling inside the house, pooping wherever he wants, sometimes a water hen running around with the chicks. The pond is the painting you see now. I name it as Pond Habitat. The bottom of the pond is my next exhibit. At the surface, it is clear. Deep under the pond is as muddy and dark. The second I'm going to present is the ocean world. So here I have indicated the bright side and the dark side of the ocean, which means the fish can live happily, but they never know when they will be hunted by a bigger fish. One day, I was fascinated by the taste of the mango. I ate it, so I painted it on canvas. By and by, I add some shades of colors around it, and this is the result you see now. I call this shades of mangoes. Starting with the print of my hand, that is me. And as a child, I'm protected by my parents, teachers, and elders in our family. This protection and advices are not always sweet. They are sour and bitter sometimes, which I don't like as a child. So the protective barrier is gloomy. I call this the bitter protection. These are designs probably originated in my mind according to the moods I have. Next presentation is 2 of my abstract, so you all are free to see the depth of my paintings. Here you see a foliage of my garden inside the house. Read in the menu, hungry bird looking for food, only for survival. Knowledge is the happiness. This is how I enjoy my studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation, Senuji, JC, and Tanuja. It's been a real delight to have a family that is so deeply connected to art. Thank you for sharing your work with us. With this, we now open the session out to conversation. We invite the audience to please share your questions for the presenters. I would like to welcome and introduce our moderators for the session, architect Ankita Dhal from Mumbai, who is a teaching assistant at SEPT University with her own practice, Edge Practice. Her interest lies in art, climate change, and gender studies. Our second moderator is Nirmohi Katrecha, an architect who is currently working with Shimul Javeri Kadri Architects Mumbai. Her interest lies in power embedded spatialities and also in art. Welcome, Ankita and Nimrohi. With this, we open our session to conversation. We would like to request the audience to please share your questions for our speakers. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, this is Ankita. Hello. First of all, thank you so much for your lovely presentations. It's so great to see all three of you and your work as a family and also as individual artists on the same screen. There's so much to read into, so much to learn from. So thank you so much. My first question would be for artist JC. First of all, I loved that all of your work depicts different states of minds and awareness. But after the first few initial works, in the way you presented, there is a shift into Buddhist symbology, which is very evident in the later stages and the more recent works that you presented. I just wanted to understand when and why did this shift happen and how you went about it.
Yeah. The birth of my journey began in the sea with water to symbolize the origin life. Then, from the sea is to the wood where, as I said before, puberty of my work occurred. So, as the best and wonderful products of nature is the human. Humans have to face multiply type of problems. So, express those, and as I believe, the solution can be found in the Buddhist philosophy. So, to get rid of problems, the mind has to be tranquilized by meditation. This is where the symbols are in the meditation posture.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people would also agree with how it really does help us unclutter and understand our minds and be aware of everything. So yes, thank you for your answer. Nirmohi, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your presentation. These are a lovely set of artworks that I really enjoyed. My question is for Tanuja. So I also wanted to address that what I enjoyed the most about your work is that I can relate to it so much as a woman. And it depicts so many different experiences from our everyday lives. So the thing is, we saw the different methods that artist Senuji and artist JC have taken to make their paintings. And since you work with printmaking, I wanted to know what your method and process was like.
My field was different. Printmaking is to get the mirror image of what I want on a block. The process is yes different, and I'm happy that you read my concept perfectly. if I did not give up my painting as a family in a studio of a house, I would have a change into a canvas and a brush on.
Thanks.
I also had a question again for artist Tanuja. I like just you, as you mentioned just now, picking up from what you just said, being an artist and at the same time being a mother and being a partner, and there's so many other roles that women have to play in their everyday lives. And so, how does juggling so many roles together affect your artwork, since that's something that you have mentioned just now?
Performing the roles of a mother, a partner, and artist is not a walk in a park. Mother comes first one, violinist, and the other artist and a bottom. In between, I facilitate my hubby and daughter, make a gown for their work, and encourage them, the artists, in the help to understand their need. Sacrifice the name of the
It's lovely how your contribution goes beyond just your artworks and into being a family and facilitating for them in so many different ways. I wanted to also ask artist JC about we saw almost a glimpse of most of his journey through his artworks and the way he presented it. So there have been multiple shifts in this journey. So is there something that has remained common in your entire artistic approach and growth? Should I repeat my question?
Sorry, can I ask again my question?
Yeah, I was saying that the way you presented your work, we see that it's a long journey with multiple shifts. So is there something that has remained common throughout the entire journey, and like the way in which you have grown?
Yeah. As I start with the landscaping nature, for the instant, the sky and sea, to fill the sky, the moon has added. Sea fill with water. Two ends separated but blended in the middle. Well, that is the structure. Even today, with human figure, the gap is the indicated. With the color composition, in the middle is blended, and the line is also given in the surrounding of colors, maybe shading of colors. The remaining factor is, although it look shift on the surface, the originate structure never change. I think it's okay.
Thank you for explaining that so beautifully. I'm really excited about hearing from Senuji because her work is just, um, it's so unique, and at her young age to be doing the kind of work that she's doing is amazing, and I really appreciate. I think I'm a big fan of Senuji. All of your paintings, Senuji, show nature in a very beautiful way, right? And it's very clear that you're taking so much inspiration from your own house, as you said in your paintings. There's a pond in your house, there are trees in your house. So I just wanted to know which part of your house or your surroundings do you enjoy the most? Where do you like to spend most of your time in your house and paint? Are there any places like that? And why do you like those spots?
My best area is my pond upstairs inside the house. The reason is because, to be mischievous, if my parents are not to be seen, I walk in the pond and talk to the fishes, and I am moody sometimes. So to settle my moods, my pond helps me a lot, plants, and I talk to them, my plants and fishes, and I feed my fishes. Actually, I overfeed them when my parents are not to be seen. Uh, Beside the pond, there is a bench. I sleep and open my eyes and see the beautiful sky and enjoy.
Thanks. I am also a very big fan of course, your artwork and the way you've been speaking about your artwork. It's really beautiful. So I wanted to know, I know you're already really young, but I wanted to know since when have you been painting? And even while growing up, because you're growing up with artist parents who are also so talented and you've been seeing all that work in your house, how is it learning from them?
Even before my nursery, I was drawing on the walls because that was my canvas. I learned by imitating my parents, of course, mostly from my tati.
Thank you, Sanji, for your lovely responses. I would like to ask a question to actually all of you, because this is something that I think all of you would be able to relate to. Both of us are architects, as Ms. Varna really nicely introduced us, and it really interests us as architects to know that your house is a place that you also work in, so it becomes your art studio. It's also your home where you live, sleep, and eat. And at the same time, the way it's designed, it's also a forest, which is something that all of you, nature is something that all of you are so deeply connected to. So apart from being a family that is living in this space, you are also three artists that are occupying this house. So I think what we wanted to really understand was how has the design of your house, your home, affected your artwork and the way you make art and even your relationships with each other?
Actually, my feeling as artists, all three of us is really, really supported by the design of the house. It's very good.
I think if I live in the nature, it's a bit different over there. Nature, and if you are living in the buildings. So I like to live in villages to enjoy, and yeah, that's why I like it.
Also, another thing that I would like to ask, I think, all of you, is that I wanted to understand what it is like being an artist during a pandemic. Like, I would elaborate a little on that. saying that for artist JC, a lot of your work expresses the idea of a collective experience. It tries to combat the internal clutter of information that one processes on an everyday life. And so, how does that change your artwork during isolation? Whereas for artist Tanuja, your work is a lot about a woman's experience, like we discussed. So, how did the lockdown give you an opportunity to relook at that?
Uh,
Isolation effect give me time needed for the concentrations. I think I have more time to do a work, especially thinking. I like quarantine. I have to find the time now.
And what about you, artist Tanuja?
um, yeah, again, positive. I am planning for coming back. Yeah.
That's really exciting to hear.
That's so exciting to hear. Yes, we're thrilled.
Yeah.
So the lockdown must have given you some time to, realign your interests with art. Shall we take some questions from the audience now? I think there's a really nice question that I see from Umal, Mr. Umal. I think this question is for all of you, especially the parents, artist JC and Tanuja. They say young minds think freely. That was very evident from the bottom of the pond by Senuji. How, as a parent, do you encourage her to think freely and not be influenced by your own thinking? Would you like to answer this?
You know, you can answer your question. Tell you.
The bottom of the pond, the surface it's clear, but deep under it's as muddy and dark. It's not clear that much. So when we go down to the pond, bottom of the pond, there are moss and different kinds of animals, and so it's dark. But when we come to the surface, it's light.
It's a lovely painting, Senuji.
If I say like the bright side and the dark side, we can say like the fish can live happily, but they never know when they will be hunted.
Artist JC, would you like to also respond to the other part of the question, which is, Senuji is such a prolific artist, just like you and your partner. So how is it as parents that you encourage her in her artistic process and, to make her an independent thinker? Like to keep her away from your own influence, because you have a certain way in which you think and in which you approach art. So does your partner, artist Tanuja. So how does that come together with Senuji?
Synergies always find her freedom.
No.
And I think he has enjoyed with us.
There's also another nice question for all of you, which is what are you guys working on right now? Like, what are the different things that all of you are doing, all three of you. And even Tanuja, considering she's making a comeback, so it'll be exciting to know what is it that all of you have been up to.
In these days, my mother is not painting, so she's not doing anymore. But my father is carrying on drawing paintings, and I do disturb him, so I get scolded. What I'm doing is I'm practicing these days of drawing forest, trees, yeah, like jungles, and that's what I'm and my mother and father doing.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like a good family project. So Nirmohi, if you don't have any more questions, maybe we can pass the mic to Varna ma'am, and if she would like to ask something, or if anyone else in the panel would like to ask something.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Ratnayake family, JC, Tanuja, as well as Senuji, for taking this time and for sharing your lovely work with us. Thank you for your enthusiasm enthusiasm, especially Senuji, for making it so lively. I would also like to thank our enthusiastic moderators, Ankita and Nimrohi, who've moderated this session so beautifully. I'd like to thank the audience who participated in the discussion today, DU, VSLA team, Clayworks team. Have a good evening and see you on Saturday, 9th January, for a very special mentorship session. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all. Kavindu from our Design United team will share the upcoming series of events. Thank you.
Thank you, artist JC, Senuji, and Tanuja for your wonderful presentations today. Thanks to our moderators Ankita and Nimrohi for an interesting and thought-provoking conversation. We'd like to extend our gratitude to Clayworks for supporting this webinar and all of our future webinars. So far, Design United has successfully completed 35 installments of design conversations, and we have many more exciting speakers lined up, with designers across the spectrum joining us to share their thoughts. We're joined by more great speakers in the upcoming months. At the start of the new year, we are pleased to have architect Tanuj from Kerry Hill Architect for our in-progress session. And on the 9th of January, we have architect Sanjay Mohe alongside architect Tanuj on our mentorship session in practice. Do also fill in a feedback form that will pop up on your browser about today's webinar. Join us and stay inspired. And so follow us on our social media for our upcoming conversations. Until next time, thank you, stay safe and take care. Can I request artist JC, Senuji and Tanuja to stay back for a bit so we can get some feedback on today's session, if you don't mind? Mr. JC, පොඩ්ඩක් මේ ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද අපේ මේ session එකේ feedback ටිකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්ද අපිට?
Alright.
Alright, thank you. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ready වුණාම කියන්නකෝ මේ පොඩ්ඩක් හිතලා කියන්න. ඊට පස්සේ මේ අහන්න.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. JC. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ මොකුත් ෆීඩ්බැක් එකක් තියෙනවද අපේ සෙෂන් එක ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරන්න නැත්නම් අද සෙෂන් එකේ කොහොමද මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න පුළුවන්ද?
ඇත්තම කියනවා මේ අපේ ෆස්ට් එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක මේ අතන ගොඩක් එන්ජොයි කරා වැඩි. ඔය පැත්තෙන් නම් වෙන්න දෙයක් නෑ මම හිතන්නේ. වැඩ ටික හරියට මැනේජ් වුණා. වෙන මොනවාරි තියෙනවද නැත්නම්?
No, thank you. Senuji, it was really nice to see your work today. You're very talented and you're going to go very far. So congratulations. It's very nice work. And thank you, Mr. JC and Ms. Tanuja as well for a really good session. Thank you and stay safe, Mr. JC. So with that, we conclude. So thank you again. Bye, everyone.